What up, World is Weary team? Back at it again. Welcome to the episode. Today we're talking about one of the most disciplined and protected companies in gaming history, Nintendo. While everyone else shares licenses and merges, Nintendo stands alone. They don't rent out any of their heroes, they guard them. Let's break down how Nintendo built a wall around Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, and their entire universe, and why it actually worked. As you all may know by now, Nintendo was my favorite gaming system, gaming company, I guess you could say. I've had a Nintendo in every iteration. The only one I've never had was the Nintendo GameCube. I love Nintendo. I love the characters. I still play Nintendo. But how the fuck do they get away with not licensing out any of the characters to anybody? PlayStation, Xbox, Sega, none of them. They don't give out their characters to nobody. It's fucking crazy. And they're still around. They're still thriving. They're not number one anymore, but they're still in the top fucking three. And they'll probably be number two when Xbox goes away. It's fucking crazy how they keep surviving. So let's talk about it. How the fuck did they get away with it? You're watching The Power of Control. From the very beginning, Nintendo treated their characters like national treasures. While Sega loaned out Sonic and Microsoft allowed games like Minecraft to appear everywhere, Nintendo stayed locked in. Mario never jumped to PlayStation, Zelda never swung a sword on Xbox, and Link never got lost on PC. Nintendo realized early on that control equals identity. Their characters weren't just mascots, they were the soul of the brand. By keeping everything exclusive, they didn't just sell consoles, they stole belongings. And that's true. You know that you can't get a Mario game unless you have a Nintendo. You know you can't get a Zelda game unless you have a Nintendo. There's so many characters that people love, they grow up on, and the only way you can get those characters and play with them is on a Nintendo product, which is genius. They don't fucking care if Microsoft has fucking Call of Duty or whatever. They can get Call of Duty on that shit if they wanted to, even though it wouldn't play as well. But they know nobody will ever have Mario on their system or Pikachu or Pokemon. None of that shit will ever go to any system. Nintendo is super smart.
And that is fucking genius.
Oh my god, it's so smart. They never hoard themselves out to any other fucking company, and they always kept that. They were number one for a long time, and nobody else had their products, and they're still doing the same thing, even though they're not number one anymore. They still do the same thing because, like I said, you can't get Mario Kart on any other system. It came out on Switch 2. If you want Mario Kart, you have to have a Switch 2. Genius. Why they never shared the Sandbox. Every other company eventually bent to the pressure. Sega collapsed as a console maker and had to put Sonic on Nintendo's own systems. Microsoft and Sony both now release some titles across platforms. But Nintendo, they never broke. Even when fans begged for Mario on mobile or Zelda on PC, they stayed firm. And when they finally released Mario Run on phones, they kept control. No ports, no crossovers, no revenue sharing. Because to Nintendo, protecting their character is more important than chasing a trend. They are so fucking smart, man. They didn't fold under pressure. Mario is theirs. Nobody else can have it. They are so fucking smart. And I think that's another reason why they'll stay around for a long time. Because they're not going to fucking cave at all. They'll continue to bring out their systems. And people will continue to buy their systems because people love Mario. People love Pokemon. People love Zelda. People love Mario Kart. Those games are timeless. And you always want the new one. So they are so smart to never let them their own characters go to anybody else. They let you in, but never give away keys. Here's the twist. Nintendo will let you bring your games on their system. That's why PlayStation and Xbox titles like Fortnite, Overwatch, NBA 2K, and even The Witcher shows up on the Switch. They'll let the world's biggest franchise live under their roof, but you'll never see Mario leave the house. It's a genius business move. Nintendo gets to expand its game library without giving away its biggest assets. Everyone benefits, and they stay in full control. Like I said, it's fucking genius. Nobody plays those games really on the Switch anyway. No, I don't really know many people that play 2K on the Switch. I work for 2K, and we didn't even want to play when I was in the office working on that game. We didn't even want to play 2K on the Switch. But people still play Fortnite on the Switch. They're smart because, like I said, nobody wants. They will continue to sell systems because everybody loves the games that they have. They're classic games that everybody wants, which is smart. So they know they'll definitely make money every time a new system comes out because they'll definitely have that Mario game that everybody wants. Like the new Switch 2. Their number one game that they released was Mario Kart. Everybody wants a new Mario Kart. Mario Kart is an awesome game. It's been around since the early 90s or whatever. And you know that the only way you're going to be able to play it is to get a Switch and to buy a Nintendo product. They're super smart. They're in full control. They allow these other games to come onto the system, but they're not giving away any of their games to anybody else. It's just genius in my opinion. I think Sega could have lasted longer if they had more titles people wanted. People want Sonic, but that's not enough to keep your console going, which is why they eventually went to Nintendo and hoard their way out to other systems. The legacy of loyalty. This tight grip is exactly why Nintendo's fan base is loyal. Their players trust that Mario game will always feel like Mario. A Zelda adventure will always feel pure. They never dilute their legacy with outside influence or rushed crossovers. Even when technology changed from cartridge to CD, from console to handheld, the characters never left home. That consistency created nostalgia, reliability, and timelessness. In a time where everybody hoards themselves out to different companies to make money, Nintendo said, no, we're going to keep it our way. We're going to do things our way. We're going to keep our characters. We're not moving our characters to Xbox or PlayStation. And then eventually we do that and we'll be out of our business. We'll be out of the video game business. They don't want to do that. They want to stay in the business, so they keep the characters to themselves. If you want your games on our system, we will allow your games on our systems, but you're not giving any of our characters. And they continue to do so, and it's a good strategy, and it's worked for them for over 30, 40 years or whatever, pretty much my whole life. It's just super smart. The fortress strategy. Nintendo's refusal to share isn't arrogance, it's strategy. By keeping their worlds closed, they control the full experience, the quality, the story, the emotion, the nostalgia. It's the reason why Super Mario Bros., Zelda, Metroid, and Pokemon still feel special decades later. They're not just games, they're family heirlooms, passed from one generation to the next. 100% true. You can't have a Nintendo without a Mario title, a Zelda title, or a Metroid title. It just comes with the territory. Those games have been with me my whole fucking life. And it definitely brings back nostalgia every time you put in one of those games. I know when that new Zelda came out, I was at the store to get the first day it came out. Then when part 2 came out, I was in the store to get that too. It's just those games that you want. Just like when you go to Xbox or PlayStation and a new Call of Duty come out, you definitely get into the first day. That's the same way with Nintendo, except they have those characters that'll never go to any other system. And like I said before, it's pure genius. Why it works and always will. Other gaming companies chase trends. Live service models, battle passes, cross-platform hype. Nintendo doesn't chase. They innovate at their own pace. And that's why every time they drop a new Zelda or Mario title, the world stops to pay attention. Because Nintendo just doesn't make games, they make moments. And you can't license moments. 100% true. When a Zelda game comes out, everybody gets it. When a Mario game comes out, everybody gets it. I got the Nintendo Switch when it first came out because they had the new Mario game, the one with the hat, whatever the fuck that shit is called. And they had the new Mario Kart, and they had the new Zelda. So these moments, they have moments. You see the commercials and you see the introduction of these new games. You're like, fuck, I gotta get a Nintendo just to get that. Because you're definitely not getting a Mario game on a fucking Xbox. And I don't even think it would even look right on an Xbox or a PlayStation. Nintendo has their own style, and they have the people that they work on these characters with. It would just feel weird for them to be on a different console besides Nintendo. It just wouldn't be right. And that's the magic of Nintendo and why it still works. Nintendo is proof that you don't need to follow the industry. You can define it. While others opened doors for profit, Nintendo built a fortress around their characters and created a kingdom of their own. And decades later, that kingdom is still ruling games. That's gonna do it for the video. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know if you buy the new Nintendo products because they have a new Mario or Zelda game coming out. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. You keep it on anybody else's channel and you decide to watch mine, so I truly appreciate that. There's only 24 hours in a day, and you gave me a couple of minutes of your time. Time is very valuable and I truly appreciate it. I hope I didn't waste it. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share, comment. I always respond to comments. Have a good one. I'll get you guys on the next one. You've been watching